This is another New Black World Order TV Productions, and I have my elder here, longtime friend. Brother has always been about the struggle. He has always been about logical ways to achieve the end of the struggle. And I have him today, and we have him to share his viewpoints on where are Africans at and where they're going and what needs to be done.
Yes, and we got to recognize historically that we're severely damaged people. So when we're severely damaged, we got to be more conscientious about how we deal with each other. And so if you know that I'm amongst the severely damaged, don't try to beat me up so much, too much that I can't handle and I just go off. So reach out to me in a warm, right spiritual way to my mind to help wake me up, because we can help awaken each other. And so we got to get ourselves on the right path. And so we got all of these groups, and if you would ask the groups who's got the right message, lots of them would raise their hand. But it's not possible. It's not possible
for all of us to have.
It's not possible. And
right.
so when I have been on television, I have drawn a circle, a 360-degree circle. And if around that 360-degree circle you put 360 dots, and this would represent all of the people and all of the groups and all of the mindsets and lifestyles. And so you stand in the center of that circle and you ask all of these 360 dots or groups, who knows the truth? Lots of them would raise their hand. But here you stand there in the center and you say, man, it's not possible that all of these people could have the truth.
Right.
So, but you could ask them, say, give me a minute of what the truth is. But as soon as one of them over here in the circle starts speaking, somebody else would raise their hand and say, no, 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 this is the way it is. But here it is, you're in the center and you know that it's not possible that all of these people could have the truth, the way.
Exactly.
But so, standing in the center, what does that represent to our historical ancestors? The ancestors said their symbol of truth was a black dot. And where's that black dot? Right in the center.
Right.
So we have got to come to the center. So we got to find ways to come to the center. So what we got to do is we got to feed our people, and we got to come up with strategies, even words. And a word that I love is the word evidence. Okay. So let's reach out to our people and offer them up evidence.
Okay.
To open up their mind, and if they get that evidence and they get on that vibe, they write that word down and put it on their refrigerator, their mirror, and look at it every day. So whenever you hear people talking, groups talking, me included,
okay,
ask yourself, well, what they said passed the test of evidence.
That's right. And before we go further, what is your name, brother, for the audience?
Brother Thurman.
Brother Thurman. Yes. That's right.
And so we got to deal with everything we hear, everybody says, whoever it is, whatever group. Will it pass the test of evidence? So the Washington Monument, for example, what is it about? So if you ask people, a lot of people say, oh, I forgot, that's what they taught you in school. But regardless, the answer that you must give in school to get an A won't pass the test of evidence.
Right.
So we got to learn to put things to the test of evidence so that we can begin to be not confused. Not confused. And when we begin to be not confused, and I'm out here on this 360-degree circle, I will begin to migrate to the center, to that black dot, because now I'm letting the evidence in.
Right.
So I want to end on, write that word down and look at it every day, that word evidence. And when you turn on the television and you listen to the news, always ask yourself, whatever they say, whatever the subject is, will it pass the test of evidence? If they tell you to drink milk to make you have strong bones, ask yourself, will that pass the test of evidence?
Right.
So go do your research to find out, is it true?
Do your own
research. And so when we turn 50 years old and 60 years old, are you old? Based on what?
Right.
You got to put it to the test of evidence.
Right.
But there's folks that on this thing about getting old, there's folks that have taken it to a higher level with how they treat their spirit, mind, and body, and they reach 50 and 60 years old, and they just amazed. Because the others that they grew up with is talking all this old stuff. And so, as one of the elders was asked last year, when they're in that age group, how does it feel to be old? The elder said, I don't know, I haven't found that.
Right.
I said, I know my age.
It's about perception, ain't it?
Yes, but when you get yourself right in what you ingest in your mind and in your body, a whole bunch of this confusion about being 40, 50, 60 is a bunch of confusion that don't even exist.
Okay.
So there's folks 60 years old that they could do the same work they could do when they was 25 years old, because they've tapped into the evidence of what's right for their spirit, mind, and body.
Okay, so now you were talking about Ivan Burns SERTIMA coming to the schools in which?
Norfolk,
Virginia? Okay.
Yes. And so here it was some years ago, Van SERTIMA comes to Norfolk. And so he asked the sisters and the brothers, the group that he was speaking with, where's the roughest school? So they told him what school it was. He said, I want to go there. So he goes there. When he gets in the building, he gets in the hallway. The children, the young people were talking loud, acting disruptive, and just acting like they do in what you would call the roughest school. And the sister gave the example of a school like Cooley High in the movie Cooley High. And so Van SERTIMA just observed that. But Van SERTIMA said, I want to go to the auditorium. I want the school administrators to bring the children into the auditorium. They came into the auditorium. They were talking loud. They were playing. They were just ignoring him. He just observed that. Van SERTIMA didn't go to the mic and say, everybody give me your attention. Everybody quiet down. Everybody listen to me. Van SERTIMA had his voice toned down very low, just like you and I standing 2 or 3 feet away from each other.
Right.
And he began to bring forth the evidence of African history and the evidence of Africans, you know, being here in the U.S. and beyond. And he was bringing so much of the history that he brought to us and the evidence and his research that what happened is that if you could have had a video of it, the voice tone, the behavior of the children just all on their own began to drop.
Right.
Because they started hearing these messages, these pieces of the evidence that they had never heard, and it just got their attention.
Synchronicity.
Yes, and the outcome was that the entire auditorium was quiet. And when it was all over with, the young folks left out of the auditorium, walking down the hallway, and they were talking to each other quietly. So, you hear what he said about the Africans being here before Columbus and on and on? And they were just uplifted and left with a quiet spirit because they had been touched. And so we got to feed the young folks. We got to go after their mind, and we got to be about finding creative ways. And Van SERTIMA found a creative way. So we got to find the right note, as one elder said.
What do you think about debates, the diatribe?
Whatever
works.
Whatever means is necessary.
Right.
That works, and it's been shown to work. Let's use it.
Right. And another reason why we brought about the debates is because what we found out is that a lot of our elders who had good intentions, who had genuine works, genuine platforms, was passing us on half-baked knowledge.
Yes. Well, we got to eliminate that.
Right.
That's why
and so the debate is here as a new sheriff in town.
Yes.
So that we won't pass half-learned stuff on to the next generation. That ties into your earlier subject, evidence.
Yes. Yeah, we got to deal with the evidence, and we got to deal, and we got to get freed up in all subject areas.
Right.
So we need to have debates in all subject areas, all of them, diet included. And so that what we've been fed about the groups that you're supposed to eat from and them drinking the milk to have strong bones, bring a debate on that.
Question
and see what the folks question it. Let's talk about that, and let's examine the evidence on that.
Should we still eat bean pies in a time with so much diabetes is going on?
Well, that I'd say no.
Right.
No.
Right.
No.
So
the evidence. See, we got to, as a minister that was formerly confused long ago, he said that surgery is often painful. Well, it's painful to free up the minds of confused beings that's on a mental lockdown or been fed the wrong information so long, for so long, they have an enormous amount of lies in their brain that have become like the truth, but will not pass the test of evidence.
Right.
And so we got to be willing, we got to have the courage that if you feed me some knowledge to show me in whatever area I'm confused, I need a haircut, let me have the courage to let that in. and not just let it be so painful that it devastates me. Let me have the courage that when I come out on the street and you talk to me, or the young sister over here drops some knowledge and I'm confused because I need a haircut, let me hear that. So let me give you an example.
Okay, go ahead.
Last year, 2014, I get on an elevator. There's two Europeans. My energy was up and I was just vibing. So I said to them when I got on the elevator, I said, "How you doing today?" And I smiled at them, and they just looked. So I turned around to press the button on the elevator. Then I turned back to him and I said, "What's the good word?" And the man, he wasn't looking in my eye, he was looking at my hair. So I said again, I said, "What's the good word?" He's looking at my hair. And he said, "Maybe you need to get a haircut." Well, the first thing that I want to pause on is that if that question had been asked to most African people, younger or older, their blood pressure would have went up.
What you mean I need a haircut?
Mine did not stay real cognizant because I was really, really up. But I was confident also.
Okay.
And so he said, "I need a haircut." So I smiled and I said, "If I get one, will that make me a better person?" And he's still staring at my hair. And he said, "You should try it." And I said to him, and I smiled, I said, "I did try it, and it didn't make me a better person." I said, "That's just an illusion." And then they were just very puzzled. And then my floor came, and I was really disappointed to get off because what I love is that, like you're talking about debate, what I love is we were peacefully and warmly talking to each other. I asked him the good word, he told me his word, and I listened. So the ancient Africans said listening is a higher level of hearing. So I heard what he said. I wasn't disgusted with him, so I just fed him back. So we're having a debate. I fed him back some knowledge. I said I did try it. And it didn't make me a better person. That's just an illusion. So we got to gain some knowledge so that when we're talking to people, we got something to bring to the conversation. But somebody, one or the other is going to have the evidence. Or somebody out there got it. So we got to bring it. But we got to strengthen ourselves spiritually, mentally, physically, and nutritionally daily so that we can be up and we can smile and have a conversation with people and be ready for the debate.
Okay, Brother Thurman, how important is that diet in relation to thinking well and thinking right?
It brings clarity because if you're nutritionally deficient, your brain computer does not work as well.
Okay, go in on that.
When you don't drink water, your brain shrinks down, and so it's not functioning well. Your thinking and all of that is not processing, it's not clicking well. Like a car that's got cylinders and a spark plug, your brain computer is not firing on all cylinders. And so there's people all over the world that change their diet where they stop drinking sodas and all of that junk, and they got on a plant-based diet. And one of the things that many people around the world can tell you is they quickly had a spiritual awakening that they had never had when they were fed confusion. Because that elevating their diet brought forth clarity to the mind and the body and proper function, because you nutrified. Instead of doing nutricide, which is the nutritional destruction of the black race, we nutrified. And so we must be about nutrifying so that we can not have this stuff. So what's the deal? I mean, if you go to the young people in the school, the older folks included, they say if you come to a point in your life, especially the young folks, if you ask them this question, you come to a point in your life and you have a problem seeing, what do you do about it? What would the answer be? Most people that haven't grasped hold of the evidence, they say go to the eye doctor, get glasses. And that's a bunch of foolishness. Because what we should do is use our mind and go to what the universe and Mother Nature offered up for us. And so Mother Nature would teach us many things, and when I tell it to people, you know, one of the things I'm going to list...
Wouldn't that still be science? Or is it a true science?
It's a true science. But see, the science was if you bring a true science that's connected to the divine universe and to Mother Earth, and we can work with that a whole lot.
Then it corresponds with your biology.
And so the true science is that we are a part of nature. And when we go out amongst the trees and the bush and the jungles, where the rainforest or wherever, we're supposed to be using all of our senses, our eyes, our ears, our smells, our internal sense, our gut feeling, all of it. So
we can use all of our mind?
We can.
Not 10% of it. We can use all of it.
All of it, bro. All of it. And so when we go out in the wilderness, wherever that is, if it's on the streets of Richmond, wherever, we should be using all of our senses. And when we're using all of our capabilities of our eyes are constantly moving, because we have to be watching if we're not watching. So as Ivan Van Sertima said, I grew up in the jungles, and I had to be keen enough with my hearing and my senses so that if I heard a twig break, I knew whether it was a poisonous snake or not. And so we have to be keen enough with our senses, because there could be a snake right there, but I'm daydreaming and just thinking, don't worry.
I'm not making an observation.
And so when we're using all of our making full use of our eyes, we also constantly moving our eyes. And so all of nature, birds, if a bird's sitting in a tree singing, its eyes are constantly moving. Why? Because if its eyes are not constantly moving, it might miss a meal and it'll be hungry today. But if its eyes are not constantly moving, it didn't see that hawk that was diving,
the predator,
getting ready to take it out.
Right.
And so we need eye exercises as part of this thing to avoid having to wear the eyeglasses. Eye exercises. Look it up. Go to the evidence, look it up. And eye exercises, you involve rotating your eyes up and down 2 or 3 dozen times a day, to the left and to the right, diagonally this way, and our rotations clockwise and counterclockwise. Our rotations. And we got to nutrify, and there's various things, look it up, that will nutrify and help your eyes, including having a proper amount of all of the vitamins and minerals we need, and supplementing it with various things like bilberry and some others that I can't bring the name to you right now, but we can nutrify to where we can go on and come to this so-called getting old thing, and don't be saying, well, where's my glasses?
Right.
So I'm so glad that years and years ago, 2 or 3 decades ago, I found out about the eye exercises, and when I found that, I said, I'm going on this path, and every day, including today, I've done them. And so I said, I'm going to see how far am I going to get. Well, I don't have to be saying, well, glasses, I can't see. Well, I don't have to be searching for my glasses, because I do eye exercises and I nutrify myself. So that's just one example of all of the things that we can do. There's exercises that we can do internally inside of our body. So there's an excellent book called The Book of Internal Exercises.
The author name?
His last name is Chang, C-H-A-N-G. I forgot the first name.
All right.
It's called The Book of Internal Exercises, and it talks about eye exercises. It talks about exercises that a brother and a sister can do in their pelvic area, and that eye exercises that a brother can do standing up, sitting down. You can be standing. You got to touch yourself no kind of way, and you can exercise, and the exercise stimulates your prostrate and